What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Supercross show. This is for the 2026 lineups. We're going to be talking about all the riders, all their bikes, and all their teams, and what the differences are coming from 2025. You guys have probably seen that everybody, it seems, is switching up their teams and their bikes and their title sponsors. And so we're going to give you guys a quick rundown of where everybody's going and where they're coming from. To start off, we're going to go off with the living legend himself, Eli Tomac. You guys know that he's been riding for dang near as long as I've been alive. In fact, I grew up watching him ride, and he was good back then. There's been rumors that he's going to retire a million times, but he said he's not done. He's not leaving, and he's sticking around. So he's been riding for Yamaha for a little while, and he's now switching over to KTM, which is huge. You guys know that Chase Sexton has been riding for KTM, and so Eli Tomac is now jumping on that team, and he's going to be riding in the 450 class on Orange Team's KTM. Next up on our list, another popular name, Jorge Prado. You guys know that he's been riding for Kawasaki for quite some time. It seems that he could never figure out how to get comfortable on the bike and with the team, and he is also moving over to KTM. You know, the big thing with Jorge is, for a long time we've seen potential with him. And like I said, it didn't seem like he could ever get really comfortable on that Kawi. And so in my hopes are that he's going to really unlock his full potential with the KTM team. We know and have seen that over the past couple of years, especially last season, KTM is making a great bike. And I've actually seen some changes they've been doing to their bikes and a lot of R&D that's gone into their bikes. And I think that 2026 is going to be their year. And I hope Jorge and Eli Tomac are going to be the ones who show us the true power of the KTM. Next on our list is Jason Anderson, another great, well-known name. He's been riding for Kawi for quite some time on Team Green, and he's now moving over to, can you believe it, Yellow. He's riding a Suzuki. Jason Anderson is moving from Kawi to Suzuki. Now, you guys know Jason Anderson is another top dog, a guy who's top 5, top 3, and even a top 1 rider sometimes, proving that he is a race winner. He can close the book and he can walk away on top. Now, I think this is huge for Suzuki for a couple reasons. A, Suzuki, I believe, finds a lot of value in Ken Roczen. For similar reasons, they'll find value in Anderson, and that's experience. When building a bike and building a program and doing R&D and all of these things, having a rider who's not only great at riding, but also someone who can give a lot of really good insight, feedback, and information about the bike to improve the setup, can you put a value on that? After that, we have Barcia. Justin Barcia, for me personally, is one of my favorite riders to watch. I think he's incredibly aggressive and very good at offense, but holds off the riders as well. And sometimes he can be a little bit aggressive, but doesn't that make the sport more entertaining to watch, right? So I've always loved Justin Barcia, and Justin is going to be riding a Ducati this year. I'm friends with the Palmer guys, the Palmer compound, and they've been riding the Ducati a little bit, and I've seen it on their social media, but I've actually never seen one in person. So I'm looking forward to getting out to the Supercross races, seeing their bikes in their pits, and seeing Justin Barcia on it, seeing someone who's an aggressive rider who knows how to really rally on the bike, get on a newer bike, and, take a team, hopefully, on top of the box. I would love to see Justin Barcia win some races on the Ducati. I think it'd be incredible for the Ducati brand and the Ducati name in Supercross. And, it's not every day you see a new OEM step up to the plate and say, we're going to build a bike that's got what it takes to race Supercross, let alone do well. Chase Sexton, another big move. You guys know that he is Mr. Orange for the past couple years, and he's switching it up, and he's pulling a green card, all right? He is moving from KTM to Kawasaki. Looking for a rider who's going to be able to really figure out the bike and the program is going to be huge for Kawasaki. And I think Chase Sexton is going to be that guy. I feel like Chase is a very, I would say, proper rider, someone with, very good core fundamentals on the bike. And I think translating that into something like a Kawasaki might be exactly what they need. So Chase Sexton on Team Kawasaki. The last is Dylan Fernandez. I actually forgot. He is also moving to Ducati. So you have Justin Barcia and Dylan Fernandez both riding that Ducati bike. And I'm hoping to see this team make some waves in the Supercross space. That kind of sums up our big moves for 2026. To sum that up, we got Eli on a KTM. We got Prado on a KTM. That's going to be a stacked KTM team. I hope that their bike's going to live up and be able to stack up against the other teams with these riders. You have Jason Anderson moving from Kawasaki to Suzuki. Justin Barcia doing something of maybe leading the charge a little bit for Ducati. Now, let's move on from our guys who are moving and our big changes in the Supercross world. And let's go over to, who's staying the same. What can we see that's going to be consistent from last year and even in some cases, many years before? So you guys can probably guess the Lawrence brothers. They're going to stick with Honda. So they're riding red. You have Jet Lawrence with Honda, Hunter Lawrence with Honda. And I think there's going to be just a lot of continuity and consistency and, a lot of really great things moving forward for the Lawrence brothers. Honda makes it a great bike. They've done amazing on their program the last couple years. And I know that, as these guys stay consistent, especially as Jet stays consistent on this bike, he's going to help Honda build something that's going to be hard to beat. You guys have already seen that they've done that a whole bunch of times. And so I'm really looking forward to, just seeing, what else they're really going to be able to put down. Roxon, he's staying with Suzuki. So he's staying yellow and he's going to be with Anderson. And so the two of them, I think on the Suzuki team is going to be really, really big. You have some two heavy hitter guys that are both capable of going out and winning, making some big moves, and hopefully riding very consistent to put themselves in a really good position for points over the season, which I can see that from both of them putting up really solid numbers and taking an occasional win. Let's talk about Husqvarna. You guys know fan favorite Malcolm Stewart. He is not leaving Husqvarna, so he's going to keep riding that Husky for us. And, I think that he's really the core of that team. Really a core of the sport. You guys know the Stewarts have led a Supercross name for many, many years, one that I grew up watching with his brother, and now being able to watch Malcolm, even watching him win last year was huge. I was ecstatic for the guy, and so I'm excited to see him sticking on the Husky. Lastly, here on our core, we have KTM. You guys know Plessinger, number 7, he's sticking with KTM, so it's happy to see the Cowboy riding the orange. I think that his kind of core on KTM is going to pair really, really well with his new teammates. So going to be a good year for KTM, I hope, right? The loss of Sexton is going to be tough, but I think they're going to build a team that's going to be a force to be reckoned with, especially with Plessinger being a legend in the sport and somebody who's had a lot of experience that hopefully will be able to be transferred to some of the newer guys on the team. So let's talk about a new manufacturer, right, in the scene. We've talked about Ducati, the new teammates that are on there. Right? Justin Barcia, I believe, is going to be leading the charge, and Fernandez. I don't think that this is some kind of publicity move for Ducati. I think that they're really trying to come out and say, we have what it takes to build a battle bike, right? Something that can really go out and do well. Whether or not they really perform, I think just even being able to come out and compete at any level on the Supercross stage is going to be impressive. I really see top 10 finishes in their future, and I think that is impressive, to say the very least, during your first year on a Supercross stage. So, big hopes for Fernandez and Barcia. If you guys have your opinions on Ducati, I'd love to hear them. I personally just don't know. I think it's a good looking bike. It sounds good. And from, the Palmer boys, the Palmer compound boys, they seem like they have a lot of things they really love and a couple things they really don't love. And, who doesn't have those things when it comes to a bike? It's why we all have our opinions about what we ride, right? So that's going to be huge for Ducati. Really excited to see those guys, put it all out on the field for us. All of these changes, everything going down, this is going to be a time to talk about favorites. So I personally, seeing all the switches and everything and not really knowing where things are going to go, I don't know if there's a clear favorite for the season, right? I don't know if I could really put my bets on one person. I've always been a Lawrence fan. I love Jet and Hunter. I think they're great for the sport, really talented riders, and just really cool riders, right? It's not all the time that you see people ride that kind of have both sides of the coin, a lot of talent and a lot of personality and a lot of value to the sport itself. So I'm excited to see Jet go out on the Honda. And then let's talk about Anaheim 1. You guys are obviously all pretty opinionated. You guys can let me know what you guys think is going to happen for Anaheim 1. Like I said, I'm hoping that Jet comes out and really goes for it. I also really hope that Jorge Prado can go and lay it down on the KTM. I personally, I'm going to A1. I'm really excited about that. So if you guys see me there, come say what's up. I'll try to maybe bring a couple hats to give away while we're there. I would like to hear you guys' thoughts on some of these big moves, right? Do you guys feel like the OEMs and the riders both made good decisions? Because, it's both. Both of them make the decision. Yamaha is reaching out to people, or Suzuki is reaching out to people, and the people are responding, right? KTM is reaching out to people and people are responding. Ducati said, hey, we're looking for a rider, and Barcia said yes. So I want to know you guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching as always. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We are trying to make 2026 our biggest year for Supercross.com. So we'll see you guys next week on the channel.